Hey guys, we're back here again with our Pokemon Soul Silver Nuzlocke. Jumping right into one of our encounters, we're going to pick up and execute. I really am enjoying this naming scheme that's going on here with our anagrams, but it is a bit tedious. As much as I think it is cool to have like unique names, I think I am just going to go back to something along the lines of like naming after sodas or foods or something like that if I do wipe on this run. Overall, though, I am still enjoying it. Execute Egg is a bit of a silly name, but I like it. And now moving on to something that I like a lot less. So we're moving into the Rocket Hideout here, and the Rocket Hideout has some serious issues. There is this very serious problem with level curves in this game where we just see that too many things are underleveled. And like I was a bit aware of it prior to playing this game. I've heard the stories about it's more so balanced for like storytelling than it is to like actually have difficult battles. Which, like, yeah, I can see the appeal of that in some areas, but I think this area takes it to the extreme. There is no reason I should be facing roughly between this hideout and the next hideout that we're going to be going to about 30 different trainers that are all at least 10 levels below me, meaning I'm one-shotting, if not two-shotting everything while taking minimal damage. It is appalling to see, like, this even tag battle here where I'm level 35 and what makes it even worse is Lance is level 40 and meaning he can just pretty much beat the whole team himself, which, like, again, cool story wise to see, oh wow, trainer is way higher level than me, he must be really strong, but it doesn't really do much for me in terms of gameplay. As bad as it is, I think I'm being a bit harsh on the game. Like, the gym battles have been fun. I have struggled a bit. To be fair, though, I'm also playing blind, and you'll see with the next one coming up, but with the level caps even being messed up for the gym leaders, it really creates issues for Nuzlocking. So, for instance, we had the previous gym leader, Jasmine, I believe, being level 35, and we have the next gym leader going to be level 34, which I believe is Price. And that doesn't really make much sense for our Nuzlocking because that either means we have to go into Jasmine underleveled, which, I mean, whatever, sure, or we have to go into Price with a new Pokemon who weren't on our team for Jasmine. And both of these options are like, okay, maybe potentially like if you're playing a game where it's like, okay, this is supposed to be an intentional challenge built in, like, sure, I guess. But, like, I'm just playing mostly blind right now, and there's no way that I could have known that a gym leader, the next gym leader, was going to be lower level than the previous one. It's just not great level curve design, in my opinion. But I'm sure this is nothing new if you've played this game yourself. Now that we've made it through this hideout, we're going to actually have Quilava, also known as Holy Piston, evolve. And Typhlosion was actually one of my first Pokemon because I played Pokemon, I believe it was XD, on the GameCube. My first couple games were like, I played a bit of Platinum when I was younger. Then I got the GameCube games, Coliseum and XD, Gale of Darkness, whatever it is. And then eventually I played X and Y, which I had Y, and that's where I like got my start playing Pokemon games. Really was that was like the first time I'd like properly beaten one of the Pokemon games and like really loved it. Point being, Typhlosion, for Alligator, and Bayleaf will all have like soft spots in my heart on my GameCube games where I played and got to use them, and always kept having to restart because I didn't have a memory card back then. God, this is crazy to think about that there's probably a ton of kids now who don't know what a memory card is or needing like a USB stick to like save games on certain things. Like for instance, my 360, I had to have a USB stick, or like memory cards in the old PS2s and PS1s and GameCubes. Crazy to think about, but tangent aside, we're finally in Price's gym, and This gym was mostly fine. I literally had so many different Pokemon in the box to like take out, even though I didn't have access to my previous Pokemon. This was really no big deal. This gym I literally just swept with Machoke, and funny enough, I did forget to heal in one. I don't believe I'll be showing it just because same thing. It is pretty much just me spamming A, and then I realized, oops, I have to switch out, and I switched to something else that was super effective. But most of this gym was literally just spamming A. Once again, everything's under leveled, and we could just move on to the gym leader pretty easily. Now, while I did complain about the issue of the level cap earlier, it did create a bit of an interesting fight where I got to have a bit of a different opportunity to use different moves. And as much as I complain, that should be applauded. That like, hey, I'm at least having to try a different strategy than press super effective move. Now, the strategy I used was honestly still pretty straightforward. At no point did I feel danger. I'm now on Gym 7, and I haven't lost a single Pokemon. I'm not worried about anything. So, I'm playing pretty reckless up to this point. And that's how, after this one, I had faced a trainer where I didn't heal, but it'll be fine. Now we can just go into price. This team isn't too crazy, but you'll notice one of the key things that I did later on is I brought Noctowl. But we'll leave the Ampharos. Ampharos will just go for Thunderbolt. It's holding the good old choice specs. We have Thunderbolt. Discharge pretty much does the same thing, even if you guys want to be like, oh, well, he has those TMs way too early, or he isn't supposed to, and hacked him in, whatever. It's pretty much the same thing. I just wanted to use Thunderbolt because if I have access to it, I think that's fair. Now, this is the special tech that I was talking about. I brought Noctowl, which Noctowl isn't doing anything that crazy, but with leading Ampharos and having that come in, we can very clearly predict a ground move coming in, just switch into it, and then go for the quick little Hypnosis for the sleep, and then just switch out to a fighting type. Now, this is one good thing. Heracross is getting a bit of a play because, hey, we can't use Typhlosion, or we can't use some of the other fighting types that we had. So, even if it's nothing crazy, at least we're getting to use him, and he's just going to keep brick breaking, and that's pretty much going to be the end of this gym leader. Overall, not too crazy, literally no risks. I feel like certain gym leaders are like way scarier. Sure, like there is potential to wipe to them, or like potential to lose a Pokemon. Price is not one of those, especially if you have like Typhlosion, or if you have like an electric type. It's pretty straightforward. You just keep brick breaking and attacking through, and that's that. Now we can just move on to the next area. Yippee! Back to Goldenrod for more Rocket Hideout shenanigans. Now, you'll notice that I cut out a majority of this because it is nothing battles, but I feel like it's only fair for me to show random ones just to show that I'm like being fair in what I'm dealing with. I'm leading something that's not even really super effective against it. Discharge, and watch, it's gonna pretty much one-shot it. I'm not gonna harp on this any longer. We can just cut past the rest of this and move on so you don't have to watch it. Now, you'll notice I also skipped all of the different admins. Same issue, even though they're admins, they're all under-leveled. Makes zero sense. This guy is supposedly the new Giovanni, yet he's barely on my level. He has 35s, thankfully, but not that big of a deal. Just lead Graveler, hit him with a little bit of Earthquake, and one-tap him. Now, he's going to lead the Coffin next, and Coughing is like... it's literally only annoying at most. Oh wow, I can't hit the poison type with a ground move. Whatever will I do? Anyways, literally switch to any one of my other Pokemon and proceed to just click a move that does decent damage. Gyarados is going to go in here, which honestly, I don't want to say it was a bad decision because, again, this is like such a nothing Pokemon, but like I'm just spamming A. I made the stupid mistake of like, okay, I'll go for Aqua Tail. It missed. And then I was just like, whatever, I'll spam moves after getting poisoned. So then I'm like, oh no, whatever will I do? And I hit it eventually with Aqua Tail, and it's a two shot to kill. But his final Pokemon is Houndoom, and yeah, having Gyarados up for that would have been nice. But like, also, I still have Graveler, I still have the rest of my team. I'm more than confident that pretty much any one of my members could have beaten it. Now, 38, it is a pretty frail Pokemon though, like, it cannot take hits. And so, I think, honestly, if I would have went with, I don't know, maybe even Heracross, if he could get not the Cross Chop, but the Brick Break in, rather, if he could tank a Flamethrower, if that's what Houndoom has, maybe, but like, I don't know, I'd still feel like there was so many options there, even without the Grappler at full health. Overall, it's such a nothing fight. Also, only 3 Pokemon from the final villain. Like, I understand that there's still so much more left to this game. We have all of Kanto still, and we're only in this region for now. But it's still really disappointing that, like, he was supposed to be like the big bad of trying to restart Rocket, and he's just nothing. We're gonna catch Swine up here, get a little bit of our own Piloswine going on. Name him Subwin. And we're gonna be in the next city. Now, there was a lot of in between that I had to cut out here. I had to go around, catch a couple extra Pokemon, because I realized, oh no, Dragon Gym Leader, and I do not have Dragon types or Ice types that can adequately contest it. So I was like, okay, maybe I can settle for Water types that will be able to use Ice Beam, because that seems like our best option for now. And honestly, not a terrible plan, but you'll see how that goes here in a moment. We'll name the Poliwhirl that we got Willow Rip, and I think that's so cute, but he's a funny little guy. And we'll move on to the next gym. Now, this gym design was actually really cool. If I could say one good thing about this area of the game, this gym design was really cool. It's not something that I've seen in another game, I don't think. Which, like, it's nothing crazy, but it was definitely interesting. Now, I'm going to show you basically just this one gym fight as well, because Ice Fang on Gyarados just basically solos most of the trainers here. Now, the final gym leader here will be a bit of an issue. But these Dratinis, they're nothing. They're non-issues all up and down the board. Now, I know I could have caught in one. There's the cave behind where you can use Surf to get to, and you could have caught a Dratini. I believe it's only valid encounter, so it's a guaranteed encounter at that. But I was just like, do I really want to do that? And it just didn't seem smart. Also, we're going to ignore me being a complete idiot and thinking that this was Dragon type already, and I kept Ice Fanging it, even though the evolved version is still Dragon and Water type, meaning it's neutral to Ice. I'm an idiot. Ignore me. But I'm just going to skip past this because I won the fight and it was such a non-issue. Now, finally, we can get to something interesting. We're going to look at our team real quick. We're going to have the Gyarados, Ampharos, Piloswine, and the Steel type Magneton here being the Steel type to basically just resist the Dragon moves. And then we're going to have Poliwhirl just knowing Ice Beam, just a Water type. That's honestly, I don't think he's exactly bulky, but he is water. He should be able to take a bit of damage. And then we also have the Persian, who is going to see a big moment coming up here. Now, this team obviously has to come from the fact that this is a Dragon type gym leader, and we don't have too many options. Pretty easy move with the Ampharos, though. It can literally just hit the Thunderbolt, and it will be a one-shot kill with the 4 times effectiveness. Nothing crazy. Funny enough, Gyarados is not a Dragon type, but since when do gym leaders follow the rules? Now we can just easily switch off of this Ampharos here, and then we can just go into the Gyarados here, and this is nothing too crazy, but pretty much just switch in, hope that the Dragonair will just take a bunch of Ice Fangs and die that way. Now this Thunder Wave though will be an issue because this now means that this Gyarados is now outsped, meaning if it wants to Ice Fang anything, it has to take the hit first. And as you saw, that crit was just really badly timed. Ice Fang again. Dragon Pulse is going to harm the Gyarados, and double paralysis. Can't even complain. I did say in that very first episode I'm going to have some bad luck later on, and I fully deserve it. Now, this is where I'm like, okay, maybe I should switch into the Magneton. Maybe he can like resist enough and we can start getting something going. But I'm also still trying to consider the Piloswine here, which I do end up going with, because obviously the Ice type, and I'm also thinking in the back line, they still have another, I believe it's Dragonair, and another Kingdra that we are going to struggle with because of our tight matchups. Obviously this Piloswine here is just going to take a good amount of damage, but we hit the Ice Beam, and it is going to drop it into critical range, which now I take a bit of a risk, but I do know that they have the 2 heals, something I did look up, so then I know, okay, well I can hit an Ice Beam off this and get the either chance to crit, or we can get it down just low enough that we can do the Ice Shard. Now, I was a bit worried that the Ice Shard wasn't going to kill, so I was thinking about switching, but I wanted to make sure that the damage was high enough. I even checked Piloswine's stats, I believe, to make sure. And we go with Ice Shard, and it will kill. Now, thankfully, we managed to get that kill without needing to switch, because if we hadn't, I think I would have lost the run. This gym leader is honestly the first time where you're going to see me start to sweat in this game and start to have a little bit of an issue. Now, Kingdra, I'm like, okay, this should be fine. And so I have Helmet, my Persian, that we'll go into him a bit later. But I do have a couple options. Unfortunately, no good option because I don't have dragon moves. So there's nothing that I can hit it with super effective. So I decided to go with the defensive Magneton and think, oh, it's Steel type, it'll resist the dragon move. Wrong. It crit me. And this is where I was talking about the bad luck came in, and I was like, well, shit. I don't really have too many options here. Okay, so I have the Poliwhirl left, and I have my Persian at full, and then I have my Ampharos. All of which are going to get hurt bad if I switch it in on this Dragon Pulse. This is also random move now because it's low health, so it could literally be anything. And it's just a rough situation to be in. I decided to hope it missed something and went with Thunder Wave. It didn't. I didn't want to have to switch something in. I needed to sack for tempo and hope that I could come back in some way. Now we get this this beast in here, and when I say beast, I mean I'm immediately going to make a mistake because I realized I should not have went into him, and I switched into the Piloswine because I realized I needed to switch in something else to get the kill. Now, funny enough, I probably should have endured here just because PP stall and then I sharded. But I do get the little bit of chip with the Ice Shard and do sack Piloswine. It was such a dumb mistake for me, and especially in this situation. I should not have went into him. I realized that I didn't have a good move. And I needed to go into my Persian because it has Fake Out, and it also has a Silk Scarf, which, if you don't know, powers up normal type moves. Now, crit Fake Out with Silk Scarf did about a third of its health. Crazy damage for it. And so then I realized, okay, wait, my win condition might be just Fake Out it to death because I do not have enough. I can't do damage here. And then I tried to Thunderbolt like an idiot. I definitely should not have done that. Thankfully, it went for a smoke screen and I wasn't punished. But now I'm in this situation where I need to switch it out. I can't risk it dying. This is my only good source of damage. I go in for the Ampharos, who hypothetically could do something, and then it gets hyper beamed. Luckily, it survives. Thank goodness it didn't crit. It would have died. Now, I'm in the situation where I'm thinking, maybe I go for the Thunder Wave. Maybe I try to Thunderbolt it and it dies. But then I'm also like, it's Dragon. It's going to resist it. So, going back to the Fake Out spam, And I honestly probably should have Thunderbolted it with the with the turn of rest, but also it did let me get the Persian in, which I could fake out then, and then use Slash to be faster than. And then it also missed. This was a lot of unlucky and lucky things going back to back, fighting back and forth. I played it pretty sloppily. And then even past all of that, there's still this other Dragonair. Now this other Dragonair, I was a bit worried about. Because even though the Seadra is gone, the biggest threat, I do not have the Gyarados to hit with an Ice Fang anymore. So then I'm like, oh yeah, surely Poliwhirl will get this. I can just Ice Beam with him. And he immediately gets Thunder Waved. And Dragon Pulse, and oh, what do you know? He's at half. He does hit the Ice Beam, but it only does a third. And so now I'm in the situation where I'm looking at my team, and I'm like, I can't switch into anything. Everything is dead on switch, minus Persian. And do we really want to chance Persian dying here? Because everything else is paralyzed. Like, there's a solid chance I just lose. So again, I'm forced to sacrifice here, which honestly may not have even been needed if I had played properly prior. So we ended up losing our first 3 Pokemon, all to this 8th gym leader. And like, honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, if one person is going to take 3 of my Pokemon, it better be an 8th gym leader. Like, I thought this fight was pretty entertaining, and it actually did make me have to think and have to find my out. And even if it was sloppy as hell, I still managed to do it. And here we're going to keep spamming Slash, even though it has the full restore. And what do you know? We got the crit, which, to be fair, the crit is a higher chance because of Slash. But overall, Persian was the GOAT in this. I brought it as a backup, as like a, hey, maybe if something doesn't go right. It completely like built the team correctly for that to happen. Next time we'll be going on to the Elite Four and the Champion. Have a good one. Bye.